Oh, good. You made it. We made it. We've made it to the Christmas story. I've been holding this one off for a long time. It's called The Light of the Whole World. And this is part of the way they tell the Christmas story in the Jesus Storybook Bible. And it's one of the stories we haven't read yet. So I'm going to let us jump right in as we read The Light of the Whole World, the perfect story, as we conclude this journey of Advent and look ahead to Christmas, only a few days away. It's good for us to hear this story and just pay attention to the unique way that they tell it here in the Jesus Storybook Bible. We'll stop back in just a second. See you soon. Enjoy.
The light of the whole world. That same night, in amongst the other stars, suddenly a bright new star appeared. Of all the stars in the dark vaulted heavens, this one shone clearer. It blazed in the night and made the other stars look pale beside it. God put it there, when his baby son was born, to be like a spotlight, shining on him, lighting up the darkness, showing people the way to him. You see, God was like a new daddy. He couldn't keep the good news to himself. He'd been waiting all these long years for this moment, and now he wanted to tell everyone. So he pulled out all the stops. He'd sent an angel to tell Mary the good news. He'd put a special star in the sky to show where his boy was. And now he was going to send a big choir of angels to sing his happy song to the world. He's here. He's come. Go and see him, my little boy. Now, where would you send your splendid choir? To a big concert hall, maybe? Or a palace, perhaps? God sent his to a little hillside, outside a little town, in the middle of the night. He sent all those angels to sing for a raggedy old bunch of shepherds watching their sheep outside Bethlehem. In those days, remember, people used to laugh at shepherds and say they were smelly and call them other rude names, which I can't possibly mention here. You see, people thought shepherds were nobodies, just scruffy old riffraff. But God must have thought shepherds were very important indeed, because they're the ones he chose to tell the good news to first. That night, some shepherds were out in the open fields warming themselves by a campfire when suddenly the sheep darted. They were frightened by something. The olive trees rustled. What was that? A wing beat? They turned around. Standing in front of them was a huge warrior of a light, blazing in the darkness. "Don't be afraid of me," the bright shining man said. "I haven't come to hurt you. I've come to bring you happy news for everyone everywhere. Today, in David's town, in Bethlehem, God's son has been born. You can go and see him. He is sleeping in a manger." Behind the angel, they saw a strange glowing cloud, except it wasn't a cloud, it was angels, troops and troops of angels armed with light, and they were singing a beautiful song. "Glory to God be fame and honor and all our hoorays." Then as quickly as they appeared, the angels left. The shepherds stamped out their fire, left their sheep, raced down the grassy hill, through the gates of Bethlehem, down the narrow cobble streets, through a courtyard, down steps, past and in, round a corner, through a hedge, until at last they reached a tumble-down stable. They caught their breath. Then quietly they tiptoed inside. They knelt on the dirt floor. They had heard about this promised child, and now he was here. Heaven's son, the maker of the stars, a baby sleeping in his mother's arms. This baby would be like that bright star shining in the sky that night. A light to light up the whole world, chasing away darkness, helping people to see. And the darker the night got, the brighter that star would shine.
All right. It's time for another magic trick. Oh yes, you knew this was coming. Merry Christmas. Time for another magic trick. But it's going to get even better, so I want you to watch. We've got this 5 here, right? It's the black 5, the 5 of clubs. Watch carefully now. What? It just changed in front of your eyes. to a red 5, didn't it? How did I do that? Oh, well, I'm going to show you. See, there's actually 2 cards here. It's just a little sleight of hand. You put the 2 cards together so it looks like 1 card, and then you have to hold it down in the bottom corner here. And all that I do is I pull back this card with my middle finger while holding the other one with these 2. Crazy, right? So it looks like this when you can do it quickly. And then this card just kind of hides behind the other one. But if you do it fast enough, it's this snap change. And I like to hold the card like this so it just kind of flicks, and especially on the camera, it looks amazing, doesn't it? So there's your Christmas present. Not only did I do a magic trick, I taught you how to do it. You got to practice it. It's kind of hard. 2 fingers down at the bottom, the thumb on the back, and whoop. All right. All right, wasn't that great? I love the way they tell stories in that book. They talk about the light shining in the darkness and how Jesus is the one who will overcome all doom and gloom and difficulty. What a great thought. I showed you that magic trick and I taught you how to do it, but here's the thing. Magic tricks, I think, kind of lose their luster once you figure out how they work, right? You saw me do that little trick, and it probably seemed really cool on camera at first, and then when I showed you that it was just 2 cards and kind of flicking my fingers, you're like, oh, well, who really cares about that? But I think it's the exact opposite with God. God shines light into our darkness. Sometimes there's pieces of our life that don't make sense, or that seem scary or difficult, and what we're promised is that God's light will shine into those moments. God will reveal to us the places we need to go, the people we need to be. God will give us a path forward when it seems like there isn't one. That is such good news. It's not going to lose its luster like a magic trick. That's going to give us hope. And that's going to excite us and amaze us again and again. And so your homework for this week, the way we're going to put our faith into practice, I challenge you to look back at the last year. We're coming to the end of a year. And I want you to think about, maybe it's been through these children's sermons or things that you've heard in the church service, or just learned from your parents or your guardians or your friends. But look back at the whole year and try and come up with a aha that you've had. A place where the light bulb has gone on as God's revealed something to you about who you need to be, who God is, how the world works, anything about your faith life. I'm Pastor Nate. This has been the Children's Sermon. Thanks for watching, everyone. Merry Christmas.